What's up, everybody? So we got that Galaxie in here. Been picking away at it. Pretty happy with the front brakes. Finally, after all the grinding and stuff I showed y'all on the last video that we had to do on the spindle and the bracket to get it fixed, which the online instructions, which they did not send us any instructions for the front. So we had to look them up online on the website where he bought this from. And of course the rear comes with instructions. Pretty simple stuff. But the problem is it's a universal kit and it fits like 3 different cars. So they send more than just one bracket, and you gotta figure out the right bracket, which I did all that. The problem with the front now, so yesterday I don't know if we caught anything about the bolt. So the steel braided hoses go to the front, which is real nice and all. Here's the banjo bolt that they sent us. It goes through there nice and all. Looks like it'd work perfect, right? And check it out over here. Cut that light on. I'm gonna get down here. I want you to get down here so everybody can see. See, this is where this bolts to. Just like that. Come on out there. Alright, so this bolt right here. You got that? Me and Austin drove all over town last night trying to find 2 of these bolts, because the one that they sent, which is his gold one, isn't right. It's not the right thread. So it's coarse thread. This is coarse thread, and the one in the front calipers is a fine thread. 7/16 by 20 is what it is. So we finally found it. I get back to the shop, which I kind of figured this would happen, and it won't go through. So I guess we're gonna order some new hoses for the front that a 7/16 by 20 banjo bolt would go through. So there's the problem I'm having with the front now. But other than that, they're good to go. Now come back here to the rear. So once I ran into that little problem this morning, I came on back to the rear and I started tearing it apart. I haven't took this apart yet. I've been working on the other side all morning, and it's what, lunchtime now?
Yeah. You already eat?
So it took me 4 hours to make this work. It's been a nightmare. Real nightmare. They didn't send us any hub rings that center the rotor on the axle. There's no rings. I'm pretty sure this rotor is too small, because if you look right here, only got half the pad touching the rotor. So this pad should come on down a little further. I looked at all the brackets, swapped everything around. I've took this apart and put it back together. I don't know. Get your dad to go back on the security camera and actually see, but it was a lot. So I had to drill these holes out for the studs, and then I had to taper the inside of them to fit the lip on the stud. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this apart and show you what I'm dealing with real quick. All right, y'all, we're back. We got our little tools together, rip this apart real quick, and I'm gonna show y'all what all I've dealt with here. This thing's a piece of junk. Don't buy this, everybody, if you're doing this for a living. I just ordered a new Milwaukee. Should be here soon. Hopefully it'll be here this week.
Well,
that thing's a turd. I just warranted that out. So I bought that at O'Reilly's. It's called Power Torque. I just warranted it out probably what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks.
And it's already weak. Alright, so for one, I showed you that the pad is only sitting halfway on the rotor. Alright. Let me set this over here so we don't lose it. Alright. If you look right here, you see that groove?
Yeah.
A little bit of groove. That's from where all these bolts were rubbing, right? So I had to grind them off to get this thing to work. And then all of these holes here were the same size as that. And of course it wouldn't go on. So I had to drill these, and then I had to taper the back of it. You see how I tapered it?
Yeah.
To compensate for that lip right there. I couldn't get it to sit flush on the rotor. I mean the axle too. Or axle hub or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But alright, so look right here. There's a shim that goes in. Pretty simple. The instructions are pretty straightforward on this part. A shim that goes in here in between the backing plate or the bearing housing, and then there's a primary bracket they call on the instructions, primary bracket, and then your secondary bracket, which is your caliper bracket. Alright, so they also send you 2 different size shims. See those shims in there? These right here? Well, in the instructions, these are the bolts they actually sent us. They're way too long. So once you tighten the nut up, it bottoms out right there and it's still loose. So these were way too long for any one of the shims. So they sent 2 different size shims. You see that one's a little bit longer than that one.
Yeah.
So the short one is the one I needed. But of course the directions don't specify which shim you need, because it's a universal kit that fits different cars. So it's up to you to figure it out. So I finally got that figured out. Got the caliper centered up on the rotor. Then I put the pads in it, got everything bolted up, and that's when I noticed the rotor is probably too small. Well, I know it is. Y'all seen it. Only half the pads touching. So it's kind of been a nightmare dealing with this kit. I don't know the name brand of it. Universal front disc brake checklist. Universal. Not a bolt-on. Even the Wheelwood bolt-on kit isn't the case. DBK9, maybe that's the company name. I don't know. Not slandering anybody or anything. I'm just saying it's not a bolt-on kit. You're gonna need a grinder. You're gonna need drill bits. You're gonna need a drill or drill press. Grinder for sure. Y'all seen yesterday on the other video. So. But that's what we got going. So I'm gonna wait on Jim, and he's out right now. See if we want to go ahead and try to get the right rotor. Maybe that new rotor will fit a little better. See, there's no ring here.
Yeah.
The Wheelwood kits come with a ring to fill that gap in, so your rotor is perfectly centered on this axle. Because if it's not, it's gonna give you a vibration. It's gonna move, and that'll be no bueno. That's good stuff. So I'm gonna take a break from this piece of junk. not the car, the disc brake kit. But me and Austin's gonna come over here. We'll set up the camera and get to tearing down this this little 305 or 307, whatever it is. We're gonna tear it down, replace all the gaskets, just like we did on the little old 5.0 over there in the plastic.
Yeah. Back to Mike Mustang, right?
Hope we got enough baggage. We're gonna need a lot more baggage for all these bolts. But we do got a lot going on around here, so you know, we got the OBS build, which we got the motor and everything mounted in it. We got all the motor mounts and everything in. Brand new motor mounts, brand new tranny mounts. Of course, y'all been keeping up with that. Y'all know what's going on. Jim and Austin been picking away at the 4x4 chassis here for, what is that, 86? 86? Yeah, I think it is. 86 or 87, one of the two. But Jim got the tanks mounted up, or the tanks mounted up. And yesterday. But yeah. So what's going on? So this motor is going on this chassis for the people who are confused. All right. That motor right there under the plastic is going in Mike's Mustang, which is in the paint booth. Can you see it? Can you see it? In the paint booth? All right. We clear?
Yeah.
And then the 383 or whatever it is for the Cornet, Cindy's Cornet, is at the machine shop still.
Okay. Why you mention that?
I'm updating this guy,
Okay.
the guy that's confused. So that's Cindy's Cornet. Her motor's at the machine shop. We're still working on the body work on it. The Riviera, the 455 that come out of it's still at the machine shop. The heads to the airplane engine, which goes in that turd.
Pull out.
Yeah, that turd. They're still at the machine shop. Machine shop's backed up. Of course, nobody wants to work nowadays, or whatever the reason is. But anyway, enough of that small talk. Let's get to tearing into that motor. How about that?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it, brother.